Okay, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how to stress test your portfolio as a DIY investor who is thinking about retiring within the next couple of years. I'll share with you the tools that are available for free, other tools that I use that are not free, and why it's so important to do this, and some real life client examples of where this can go wrong. I'll anonymize it, of course, but like and subscribe for more retirement planning content. Let's get into it. Portfolio Visualizer is the first tool we're going to look at. This is something that I keep coming back to over and over again. The website has changed a lot over the years, and they've added more paid services. However, I think it's still great for the DIY investor because there are a lot of free resources and ways that you can leverage this website that are completely free. So today we are going to head up to the Analysis tab, and we're going to back test an allocation to start. It'll share some information on how to do that. The default portfolio is kind of the standard issue retirement portfolio, a 60-40 U.S. equity and total bond market portfolio. The one thing I don't like here is it only goes back to 1994, and I really want to see as far back as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this portfolio. And it showed in that footnote, it was saying that the REITs actually limit our ability to go back further. So let's just go ahead and get rid of this entire portfolio here on the right side. And then the other thing that we'll limit it to is the bond market. So let's just look at an all equity portfolio to start, all US equity. Analyze this portfolio. You see it goes back a lot further to 1972. I'd like this to go back even further, just as far as we have financial data. 72 will allow us to illustrate the point that I want to make here with this slide. So over on the left-hand side, you can go to drawdowns. That's where we're going to want to go. When these drawdowns occurred and what the damage was. So you can see in the 70s, top to bottom, minus 46%. In the tech crash, minus 44%. And then the most recent really nasty one was the Great Financial Crisis, down around it to 51%. So what you would do then is just take your portfolio, and if you have an all U.S. equity, 100% equity portfolio, you would take your portfolio times 1 minus 0.51, and you would be left with 49% of your portfolio. And just see how that feels. Probably not going to feel great, but it's great to feel that and understand what that would actually mean, just so that you can be prepared for that. So the reason that this is so important is because in the industry, wealth management, investments, people talk about chronic misallocation of resources, or in their view, they talk about the benefits of passive investing versus active investing, or US versus international, or commodities versus not, or real estate versus not, and how this change adds up over decades to the value of your wealth at the end of your plan. And that would be like a chronic misallocation or under allocation of resources. But in practice, what happens is, so acute timeframes, compressed timeframes, and a lot happening in a very short period of time. So it's not a question of if you're going to face a challenge like this, it's a question of when. So these are the years that I've personally seen people move 100% to cash for whatever reason. This was the breaking point that they said, you know what, I'm out. Get me out of this. I can't take it. And this is what is so damaging, is because all of these people that did this lost a huge amount of money. And don't underestimate your ability to fall victim to this. At this point in your career, your DIY investing profession, you're close to retirement within a couple of years. You've never had more money than this, and it's never been so important for your portfolio to stay intact, to allow you to retire the way you want to. So you're going to be more focused on your portfolio, more focused on the news, and that's going to potentially impact your ability to make some of these decisions and stick with your allocation. So what's cool on Portfolio Visualizer, you can actually upload your own portfolio to give you an even clearer sense of what it would feel like to live through some of these periods. So you can backtest your portfolio. Here's the same lady telling us how to use this tool. And then you can see live fund data here. And you can edit this portfolio. You can add dozens and dozens of funds. I think at some point it runs out. But if you have a ETF portfolio or a mutual fund portfolio, there really shouldn't be a reason why you would have more than 20 or 30 funds in there. As you have individual stocks, certainly you run into the issue of, you're probably going to have to upgrade to the paid version. But in this example, they have some Vanguard mutual funds here. The problem that I continually run into with this particular tool is getting limited for live fund data, because a lot of the funds, fund companies shut funds down, they launch new funds, they merge funds, they convert mutual funds to ETFs. So you will probably not be able to go back to 1972. You almost certainly will not be able to go back to 1972, but it will give you a look at, maybe a lot of your funds were around during the Great Financial Crisis. What did that look like? So the other really good tool to look at with live fund data, besides drawdowns, is the rolling returns over here on the left side. So hopefully you'll be able to see a good time period here to see, okay, over which time periods, how far or below was I versus the benchmark? And, during these periods where maybe you were really far below the benchmark, would you have been able to deal with that and see how far you trailed? Because that's really important. So the 4% rule is the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to retirement planning. So Bill has a great chart within this paper, and it goes year by year and looks at the maximum amount you could have started withdrawing at the start of your 30-year retirement. Because the way the 4% rule works is you start with 4%, and then Bill increased it with CPI every year thereafter. I think Bill is recently out with a new book, so be sure to check that out as well, and check out the original paper. A lot of good stuff here. I think we all have a surface level understanding of 4% rule, but to take a closer look can be super valuable. So I'd like people to start with that understanding of where they are relative to the 4% rule. If they're below that, they know, hey, my Monte Carlo is generally going to look pretty fantastic. If they're above that, there's probably some considerations with timing of cash flows, how long they're over that 4% rule, and is that going to be sustained deep into retirement? So to look at that a little bit closer, Portfolio Visualizer does have a Monte Carlo tool here. So if you go to analysis, it's just right here, Monte Carlo simulation. You can open this up and it will give you the ability to model cash flows, model your portfolio, and see the likelihood, probability of success for your plan. Compared to some of the advisor tools out there, this is a lot less visually understandable at first glance, so you probably will have to spend more time getting used to what the data is trying to tell you here. But this is a great way to access a tool for free versus something like another software where you might have to pay a monthly or an annual subscription. Where I think Monte Carlo gets a bad rap is people approaching retirement planning using Monte Carlo first and only. If you start your retirement plan by saying, okay, here's what I want to do. I've got this expense, added up, and then put it in your Monte Carlo analysis, then you get the output of, say, oh, you have an X percentage chance of success. And it's not as meaningful, in my opinion, going bottom up and saying, okay, what, generally am I going to be able to spend out of the portfolio without worry that I'm going to deplete the assets substantially over time. That way, you'll have more of an intuitive sense of what's going to impact this model. The reason being is because when you don't have that fundamental base level understanding of what the model is calculating, if you see a big change in your percentage chance of success, it's going to lead to worry and open you up to that possibility of changing your allocation at exactly the wrong time. To give you a sense of the difference, I'm showing Boldin. This is a really popular software with DIY retirement investors, and this is a Monte Carlo tool that allows you to, what I really like about it is you can change scenarios really quickly just from the top bar here. So you can have your baseline plan, and then if you wanted different spending categories or different scenarios, you can plug and play that really easily. So I think that's a great category. This is I think they do have some free options, but I have a paid version and it works out really nice. I would recommend this. And as you can see, just visually, it's a little bit easier to understand than what we were looking at before. Now I'm showing a software called RightCapital, similar functionality to Boldin. However, they market the software to financial advisors to work with their clients. So it is a lot more expensive. It would be pretty uncommon for just one retiree to buy this software. However, it does work well for me in my practice. The main benefit is you get to share documents back and forth securely. However, with Boldin, they do offer a service now where you can work directly with an advisor that actually works for Boldin. So that's a benefit there with that you have the option for them to take a look at your plan and provide feedback on it. And this software here is called Income Lab, and it is probably most similar in the functionality that I use it to that chart that I was talking about with the 4% rule that Bill Benson published back in the 90s. It takes a look at your portfolio in the context of historical periods. So you would be able to see, based on your allocation, what the portfolio would have done in that environment in today's dollars and how that would have affected the amount of income that you'd be able to take from that portfolio. And the software is pretty cool because it adjusts guardrails based on the ups and downs of the market so that you can see, okay, if the market declines by X percentage, we should cut spending by X percentage. And you can actually adjust it based on how aggressive you want to be. So if you have a lot of discretionary spending, you could say, well, even if the market declines a little bit, we could cut back. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you say we don't really have a lot of extra room in the budget, we would want much wider bands, you would have to have the market fall much, much further to be able to hit one of those lower guardrails. So this is a really great tool. This is a newer one to the I guess it's not so new, but in the terms of like financial planning software, is pretty new relative to the others. And this is one that clients love and I love to show. Hope that's helpful, everyone. Let me know in the comments if there's any other softwares that you're using that you've been finding especially valuable. We'll go ahead and highlight those on the channel upcoming. If I could be of any help, just let me know in the comment section below, or reach out to me at barrettfp.com. We're an hourly financial planning firm, and like and subscribe for more retirement planning content. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.